Well, the unemployment rate dropped to historic lows not seen in a generation. And that is a significant political boost to the president, who has made the economy a central issue of his 2016 campaign and is certain to be a central theme of his 2020 reelect. Well, certainly we're hearing Democrats say that this economic recovery hasn't been felt by everyone in the economy, that folks in the lower and middle incomes haven't benefited the same way those at the top tier of the income brackets have. There is some truth to that. We've not seen wages rise just as quickly among the mean as would be expected in traditional recovery. At the same time, most people are seeing some benefits, and there are more jobs waiting to be filled than the people seeking jobs right now in our economy, and that is something in these reports for both sides to look at. Well, the president is taking a lot of credit for this. Some of this certainly began well before he came to into the Oval Office. This economic recovery started in the Obama administration and has benefited somewhat from the president's tax cuts, that businesses have accelerated hiring and given money to their employees. Democrats will say that those policies were not sufficient enough, and their policy proposals would lead to a different outcome. But certainly the president has a decent leg to stand on when he goes out and says that his economic policies have worked. Economic numbers generally are a good barometer for a president's reelection chances. So for the president seeing these sorts of jobs numbers at generational lows, that puts him in a much better position than where he would be if they weren't the case. Are they the only factor that matters for a president seeking reelection? No, but they certainly put him in a more sure position going into 2020. These economic numbers give a significant boost to the president as he goes about trying to begin his re-election campaign, kicking it into high gear. It allows him to continue his argument of promises made, promises kept, that the American people are seeing the benefits of this economic recovery. At the same time, we're going to see Democrats struggle with how they talk about the economy and their policy proposals, because they can't just point at the top line economic number. They have to get into the weeds and find different statistics and different ways to communicate with the American people, some who may not feel they benefited as fully from the economic recovery as they may have liked.
You know, in our own talks and so forth, it looks to us like the Fed is focusing at some point on their own time schedule.
We're definitely seeing a bit of spiking the football on the part of the president's political team today, and some of that will certainly continue. At the same time, White House officials are mindful of the ongoing trade negotiations with China and other factors that could affect the economy going forward, and they are mindful of the potential, if there is a downturn going forward after they spiked the football so far today, that this could ultimately affect the president's numbers, sort of live by by good jobs numbers, die by them as well if they turn downward.
The economy works not only for people who have a college degree.
One of the things that we're starting to hear from Democrats a lot are wages. That wages, if you look at the jobs reports, wages are up, but not as far up in a way that mean a meaningful way for most American workers. So we're starting to hear calls to raise the minimum wage. Joe Biden, who announced his campaign this week, came out for a $15 minimum wage. We're going to hear rhetoric like that. So people may have a job, but maybe is it a job that fulfills them and allows them to make ends meet? That's sort of the rhetoric we're going to start hearing from Democrats as this campaign unfolds.